Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt mentioned, in the classic corporate model, everything is run in a hierarchical way. The offices get bigger, bureaucracies abound. Companies like these were actually successful because they gave their customers what they wanted. Because the customers needed predictable stuff, they always served their customers well, as long as the customers kept needing the same thing. Well, in this information age, things have really changed. There's market conditions that change all the time, technology changes all the time, and customer needs are changing dramatically. In this kind of scenario, cultures have to really change from a hierarchical model to applying some different behavior norms. In this video, I'll review my favorite book of 2024, The Geek Way by Andrew McAfee, where he shares how in a period of 2 decades, the 100 most valuable companies completely changed. It changed due to 4 ways that were adopted: science, speed of learning, openness, and ownership. So stay tuned as I take you through this journey of these 4 norms. Hi, my name is Anil Jaisingh. I'm a certified Scrum trainer with Scrum Alliance, an entrepreneur running a premier training and consulting company, Concepts and Beyond, and an adjunct professor at NYU's graduate program of project management. I'm on a mission to help leaders, teams, and organizations drive product innovation and build profitable businesses. Subscribe to my channel for stories of innovation fueled by product management, business agility, and leadership topics. Andrew McAfee is a principal research scientist at MIT's Sloan School of Management and the co-founder of the MIT Initiative of the Digital Economy. He studies how technological progresses change the world. Andrew researched the 100 most valuable companies with a market cap in 2002 and compared it to the 100 most valuable companies in 2022. He noticed that in 2002, these companies were spread out all across the United States, and then he compared it with the ones that were in the West Coast. In 2022, the 100 most valuable companies had all grown in the West Coast, while the market cap of all other companies not in the West Coast had decreased. So why did this happen? Andrew distilled it into 4 discrete ideas that these companies adopted: science, openness, speed of learning, and ownership. Let's dig deeper into these 4 behavior norms, as he calls it, and better understand why. The first is speed of learning. When Will Marshall joined NASA in 2006, he learned the traditional way of building spacecrafts: meticulous planning, perfect execution, and no room for error. A single NASA mission could take a decade and cost billions. While this approach made sense for high-stake missions, Will saw an opportunity for change for most missions that had unmanned rockets and satellites. Working at NASA's Ames Research Center, Marshall and his team challenged conventional wisdom. In their unofficial Area 51 workspace, they built a lunar vehicle prototype for just $300,000 using off-the-shelf parts, a fraction of the usual cost. This led to the successful L-Cross mission that found water on the moon, and it only cost $79 million, which was way under budget. Marshall's breakthrough moment came from a simple experiment: launching smartphones into space. When these $500 devices successfully took pictures and transmitted data back to Earth, he asked a pivotal question: why do our spacecrafts cost $500 million? This insight led Marshall to co-found Planet Labs, where he implemented a radically different approach to space technology. Instead of spending years perfecting each satellite, his company adapted rapid iteration. They launched new satellites every few months, learning from each launch and improving how they build and launch satellites in the future. The results were remarkable. In 10 years, Planet Lab launched 500 spacecrafts compared to the 5 Marshall worked on during his 6 years at NASA. Today, the company operates over 200 satellites, proving that innovation often comes from challenging traditional methods and being willing to learn from small failures. The second norm is ownership. The author talks about Adine Williams, who came out of retirement to join Amazon's AWS. She came with years of experience of working with companies like Intel and HP that were much more traditional. However, her first few months at Amazon taught her that experience in traditional corporate environments didn't always translate to Amazon's unique culture. Facing an urgent compliance issue requiring changes to the Amazon jobs website. Ardeen found herself in a familiar dance, seeking approvals, looking for the right authority, and expecting months-long process. This project had legal backing and technical support, but she kept searching for the final approval that would greenlight the website modification. When she confided her frustration to a long-term employee, his response completely blew her away. He said, push the button. The approval that she was seeking was well within her authority in Amazon. This simple direction challenged everything she knew about corporate decision-making from her previous roles, where such changes would require multiple committees and extensive documentation. After some hesitation, Ardeen decided to call the developer and ask them to push the button, a process that took less than 24 hours instead of months. What first felt as chaos now revealed to her as a culture of rapid decision-making and individual empowerment. The lesson was clear. Amazon's success was built on bureaucratic processes, but on trusting employees to make decisions quickly and take ownership of the projects. The third idea is science. In 2009, Doug Bowman, Google director for user interfaces, felt frustrated. He was asked to give people data why the border of the Google website had to be 3 pixels and not 4 or 5. For Bowman, this was the last straw. Google wasn't just asking him to choose between 2 shades of blue. They wanted to test 41 different shades to find the perfect. This approach seemed to go against everything Bowman believed about design, which he saw as a creative and subjective process. However, Google's commitment to data-driven decisions, which began with their first A/B test in 2000, proved remarkably effective. While Bowman left the company, Google's methodical testing of those blue shades led to an additional $200 million in annual advertising revenue. This success challenged the traditional notion that design decisions should be left solely to creative experts. Google showed that combining professional design expertise with rigorous testing could achieve better results than relying on intuition alone. They call this whole approach HIPPO, making decisions based on the highest paid person's opinion. Today, Google still employs thousands of designers, but their work is validated using testing rather than just opinions of these designers. This approach reflects the philosophy of trust but verify, proving that science and data can enhance work rather than hinder work. The fourth one is openness. In 2006, Brian Halligan, fresh from MIT's MBA program, was preparing to launch HubSpot with his classmate Dharmesh Shah. What set their leadership style apart became clear 3 years later during a pivotal meeting about employee education. Unlike most CEOs who would take a fully formed training program to their staff, Halligan went with a different approach. During a meeting with about 20 employees after introducing a potential education program, he simply asked, "So what do you think?" and sat. What next happened revealed HubSpot's culture. A junior employee criticized the program and also explained why, something that would have caused tension in most companies. Instead of becoming defensive or sending subtle warnings, Halligan responded with a genuine interest. "Yeah, good point. I hadn't thought of that." This wasn't just a one-off moment. It was HubSpot's standard way of doing business. This approach to leadership, where honest feedback was encouraged regardless of an employee's position, helped transform HubSpot into one of America's most desirable workplaces. The company climbed Glassdoor's ranking, eventually becoming the #1 best large company to work for in 2020. The lesson was clear: creating an environment where employees feel safe to speak, even if your opinions are going against the CEO, can lead to extraordinary success. Geek culture isn't defined by specific technology or strategic approaches. It's built on shared behavior expectations within the group. These social norms act as a powerful self-regulating force. When members deviate from these unwritten rules, the community itself, not just leadership, works to maintain a line. While these expectations may not be formally documented, they fundamentally shape how people act and interact. As I work with my clients today, this is the #1 book I recommend to my clients when they are undergoing a transformation. And I'm using the stories and principles to help my clients with transformation. If you're interested in growing your organization, then I would highly recommend this book. In my next video, I'll be going deep into each one of these 4 ways with real life story. If you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to my video. And also go check out my website. Link is in the description below of our coaching programs, of how we help our organizations succeed and what we offer our clients in helping them with transformation.